Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Outside Insider on a Friday. I look weirdly like posh because I've got a college. It's just a golf shirt and a hoodie. I promise I'm not wearing some like dodgy suit, but the Eagles might need to be suited up. You know, they need to get themselves buttoned up, getting together and ready for what could be a pivotal game on Monday night in Seattle against the Seahawks. It's been a bumpy week, a bumpy month for the Philadelphia Eagles, but this past week in specific has just been a lot of noise. We've all seen the video of Jalen Hurts and the bizarre drill that he was doing. We've seen the Darius Slay noise, which I went over on Monday, and somehow that's even got worse by now. But here we are, Friday night, for a road trip to Seattle where the Eagles haven't won in Seattle in 15 years. 15 years. 2008 was the last time the Eagles won a game against the Seahawks. Now, sure, Russell Wilson is responsible for a lot of that. In fairness, the Eagles will be playing one of an injured Geno Smith or Drew Lock or potentially whoever, this weekend anyway. So, sort of balances out. Zach's in first, and Isaac, literally at 6 p.m. exactly, said I was late. I think we need VAR on that. We need like a review, maybe someone throw a flag on the play, because I think I was 30 seconds late. I was trying to send some social bits out, but we're here. And that's all that matters. Little G Griffith is in and says, great team and go Eagles. I'm a big fan of the Eagles. Eagles kick Seahawks butt. Love that from Little G. That's the energy we need. Get him giving the team talks. Get him at the Novacare complex yesterday, today, tomorrow, whenever, to rally the team up. Because I think they need to hear some of that. I think they genuinely do. Matty Mac says 2008 being 15 years ago is alarming. Yeah, I would have been 13. Jeez, that's scary. I would have been 30. In 2008, PSN wasn't even started yet. That was like 6 years before PSN. And then we've got, I would have been in school. I'd have been doing motorsport broadcasting still, or trying to, I suppose, at that time. Would have been severely in my emo phase. So not much has changed. And the voice would have sounded exactly the same, I think. So the more things change, the more they stay the same. I would have been 8 in 2008. Oh, see, that's just making me feel extra old. That's not cool. E-Money Bentley is in. He says, go Birds. Eagles 45, Seahawks 17. See, now that's the confidence we like to see. And in theory, there's no reason the Eagles can't go into Seattle and come out with a huge victory. There's no reason that should be off the table because the team is just better in nearly every statistical metric. We have got a graphic or two, and we will go over those in due course. But there's no reason the Eagles shouldn't be beating up on a lowly Seahawks team that is very much facing, it's that weird point in the year, isn't it? Where you've either got to choose, do you make a run for a late wild card push, or do you just accept your fate? Maybe pull some starters out and try and get yourself some better draft capital. Not that tanking's a thing in the NFL. Not that anyone would ever do such a dastardly thing. But if you're to look at the stats between the two teams here, something does become very, very clear. And that is that Philadelphia just is the better team. Like, it's not close. The rushing offense and the rushing defense is what separates them from an otherwise lowly Seattle team where they match up pretty well. The turnover differential, I think, has been heavily skewed by the past couple of weeks. But outside of that, they were like 8th or 9th in the league. So I'm not overly concerned with turnovers. A lot of people are pointing towards the Jalen Hurts turnovers from the other day, like the fumbles and stuff, and acting like that's the reason the offense sucks, like we didn't just have an hour-long show debating why Brian Johnson is hemorrhaging this Eagles offense and why so much of it is struggling right now. But at the end of the day, the Eagles passing offense was a top 10 before these past 2 weeks. It's only been the last 3 weeks that the Eagles have started to struggle on the offensive side of the ball. Defensively has been the same story all year. Great against the run, bad against the pass, and that sort of evens out to a nice like middle of the part defense. And the turnovers again have been somewhat of an issue. But realistically, Seattle is a team that is also in a state of flux. Like, there's questions about Pete Carroll, about the caliber of players that he's got on that team in the first place. And realistically, like, was Geno Smith's huge comeback year an outlier? You can certainly make that argument because this year, his second in Seattle has not been as perhaps explosive as many people had hoped after what was a brilliant resurgence and the type of football that probably the Jets hoped he would have been able to play when he was drafted by them all those years ago. But the truth is, the Seattle offense is dangerous. It is dangerous for an Eagles defense that has weaknesses in areas Seattle is strong. Regardless of what you say about Darius, what I say about Darius, what we all think about Darius Slay and his behavior on social media, the Eagles need the best out of him on Monday night. They absolutely need the best version of Darius Slay. And look, if he comes in and he gets 3 pass breakups and big tackles and the Eagles win and he retweets his own highlights and starts saying how great he played, I'll retweet them as well. But if he does it after getting, humbled by DK Metcalf, been there before, am I going to, it's just an optics thing. But DK is a guy that still has 800 plus yards on the year. It's still very much a deep threat. On the other side of the field, Taylor Lockett obviously needs no introduction. He's been brilliant throughout his entire career. I said earlier in this the stream on Wednesday, it might have been, I think he just is one of the most underrated receivers in all of football. He's one of those guys we'll look back on in 10 years' time and go, wow, he was beyond underappreciated. You look at even someone is it Jackson Smith and Jigba as well, who is just, again, bursting onto the scene. Seattle have got weapons. Perhaps more worryingly of all is that Noah Fant at tight end is going to be a problem. He only gets a couple receptions a game, but the Eagles have just coming off the heels of allowing Jake Ferguson to rip them up to the tune of 78 yards. George Kittle did a similar job the week before. It's very clear the Eagles are struggling in the middle of the field. And when you've got a player as dynamic as Noah Fant, I don't think we've seen the best out of him. And he is a player that I would absolutely hammer. If you are looking from a betting perspective, if you want to build a same game parlay, whether it's his over on the receiving total, whether you want to go back and add him for an anytime touchdown, it just feels right, unfortunately, for Eagles fans. But from an Eagles perspective, they need Slay at his best. Regardless of what he's done this year, regardless of his behavior on social media, they need Slay at his very best because DK is no easy task, is it? Stopping DK Metcalf from just ripping it up down the sideline is nearly nigh on impossible. Weirdly enough, I don't get why his nickname is Decaf Metcalf, and then he also has an endorsement deal with Gatorade. If someone could tell me why DK Metcalf, I understand. Look, it's lovely rhyming that Decaf and Metcalf. That's great, right? That is high school level rhyming, and they should be very proud of themselves for coming up with that. But if he also endorses an energy drink, it's not great. And then also, isn't the whole point of decaf that you take the main source of energy out of it? So you're just having caffeine-less coffee. I don't get it. If the whole point of decaf is to take the energy out, it is the last thing you want to be called as a receiver whose sole responsibility is to inject that energy, that explosiveness into the offense. So there's a minor bone to pick. Why DK Metcalf is called Decaf Metcalf makes no sense. Is there no other word we could find that rhymes with Metcalf? There's a challenge, all right, for everyone in the chat right now. We've got 12 of us here. The core 12 are in today. Find a nickname for DK Metcalf that isn't Decaf Metcalf, because it just doesn't even rhyme. It's Decaf Metcalf for a start, so that doesn't work. And even if it does rhyme, it makes no. It's the equivalent of saying, I could care less. You couldn't care less, isn't it? We established this with literacy lessons with LJ. All right, we've been here before, but I just find it genuinely caffeine is a mind-altering substance. Lock him up. What, caffeine or DK? I mean, both true. Metcalf starts out hot, then tapers off. This happened in the last 3 games. Interesting. I've not seen the last. Well, I've not seen many Seattle games this year, to be honest with you. Tyler Lockett's dead to me after selling the Dallas game. Yeah. It was a sore spot, but I think he just is one of those receivers who can hurt you. He seems to just make plays out of nothing. He's got great yak potential. It's going to be a fun matchup, providing Bradbury can have a somewhat rebound. We're talking about a week where this Eagles team have looked at their names on trash cans. I don't want to spend the whole time talking about Darius Slay's response to that. But yeah, the Eagles sucked, but I played well. I've had enough of that energy. It's just inexplicably loserish. I can't think of much more cringe-inducing content from a Brit, where many people find me cringy. Nothing gets cringier than Darius Slay going, yeah, the Eagles played really bad, but I was really good. What are we doing there? DK Megacaf. Right, Bradley Miller's in. That instantly better. Instantly better than decaf Metcalf. Megacaf. I'll take that. That works. Bring that in. Right, someone hire Bradley in a PR firm because that is already 10 times better than what we've seen. We had a 45-17 score prediction, and Little G Griffith comes back with Eagles score 45, Seahawks 24. So some big predictions out already. We'll see what the rest of you guys can come up with over the course of the stream. Obviously, again, if you are just tuning in, hello, bonjour, comment t'appelles-tu? We are live Monday, Wednesday, Friday for an hour at 6 p.m. Eastern. Talking birds, come rain, hell, or high water, shine, anything in between. We will be there. And a quick shout to Dave Cuda, who has liked the stream on Facebook. What a man he is. If you could leave a like on YouTube and you're watching this right now, just roll over and hit that thumb. That'd be brilliant. Again, it's the best way to help the stream grow. I think that the best thing we can do is put up more likes than the Eagles have points. We can achieve that, excuse me, this week. I believe in us for that. I would have loved a Bradbury v. Metcalf matchup a year ago. Yeah, I think that the matchup now with Bradbury is going to be one of confidence because we know James Bradbury's good. He was great in New York. He had a very solid first season in Philadelphia. I can't genuinely work out if whether or not he maybe just isn't a scheme fit in the same way that some corners are susceptible to scheme changes more than most. Like, again, defensive linemen sort of get exempt from it. Outside linebackers are a bit more impacted because guys like Hassan Reddick go from rushing the passer to, sitting back in coverage. But corners especially, if you've got a zone corner that maybe isn't as quick, isn't as tall, and he's a very firm tackler, you want him in a zone scheme. You want him to just sit there, be instinctive, read routes, and wrap up ball carriers. If you've got someone like Bradbury, who's highly instinctive, not overly fast, pretty good as a tackler, but where he lacks, I guess, like as much as he's got some range, he can struggle there sometimes. I think anytime he's really pressed against the boundary, he can get a little bit grabby. I wonder if just schematically there's something there that's haunting him this year. And it wouldn't be the first time we've seen it. Like when the Eagles do change coordinators, corners are the first things to usually fall off the wheel because different needs require different needs require different players to fill them, Like if you are asking a corner to be aggressive and play near the line of scrimmage and they're used to playing 10 yards off the ball, not really doing much in the way of contact and kind of funneling players inside, it's going to come as a bit of a culture shock. And there's naturally going to be an adjustment period where you have to learn whether or not you sink or swim. So in that regard, I do wonder whether or not it could be a factor. I need to go back and look at, I suppose, tape from New York and look at that old defense. What I believe was it a Spags defense back then? And then see how he's getting on now and under Sean Desai and compare that to what he did, obviously, in Philadelphia a year ago. But there is definitely a correlation between he was amazing last year. You don't just get worse over 1 year. You don't just drop off a cliff form-wise and lose all of those traits that you spent your whole life developing. It doesn't work like that. Maybe over 1 week you can get caught off guard, but over a year, I doubt it. So interesting with James Bradbury. I think, again, like I would have been really confident coming into this matchup a year ago, purely from your standpoint, Tom. If he was playing well last year and the scheme worked and you've got Darius Slay one side, I would have loved Darius on Metcalf or Darius on Lockett, again, probably is the better matchup. And you put Bradbury on Metcalf. In the nickel would have been Avonte Maddox, I suppose, now, who is on JSN. But realistically, this year, the corners, I think, are being asked to do different things, and they are funneling plays inside, and that's hurting them. And when you've got a player like Tyler Lockett, who is so quick, brilliantly soft pair of hands, he's very reminiscent of a Devontae Smith in the way that he can adapt for his quarterback. Like there aren't many guys in the NFL that can just adjust a route on the fly to the level that Tyler Lockett does. Smitty's up there. I think we've seen Smitty do it time and time again. But Tyler Lockett has just been doing it for so long for some great quarterbacks. Again, an underrated trait. But I really think that they're the players that will hurt this Eagles offense. As much as it's kind of worrying that they might get back Charbonnet, they might get back matey boy who's the starter. His name just completely escaped me now. Kenneth Walker. There he is. I kept wanting to say Gainwell. and that would not have gone down well. But yeah, obviously Kenneth Walker and I forgot the other one. Damn it, Kenneth Walker and I've just said his name. It's the end of the week. It has not gone well. Kenneth Walker. Someone put it in the chat before I lose my mind. I said it 39 seconds ago. Charbonnet, Zach Carbonara, get him in. Yeah, both of them potentially coming back is going to be worrying, but they also played against the Niners and combined for like 65 total yards. So the Niners and the Eagles' run defense is pretty similar. I'm not overly concerned about their impact there, more so if they get used as like release valves. Pete Carroll is a head coach that is smart enough to look at his opponent, see where their weaknesses are, and scheme for them. Like, he's kind of been known for that over the years and to varying success levels. But when you've got a team like Philadelphia who is routinely good against the run and has had a blueprint put out by two teams in 2 weeks in the NFC that have just manhandled them defensively, got everything they need through the air, and that allowed them to implode offensively, the game plan's there for Seattle. And they don't have a brilliantly talented defense. A lot of the key components that were there have gone. I'll happily get the depth chart up. I kind of want to have a look, actually. Share it on the screen. Bear with me. We're using Bing again, so this could go horrifically wrong. You know me by now. Give me 39 seconds. And really quickly, a shout to... Oh, hang on, let's go on. There we go. A shout to Mary Fendler for liking the stream as well. Thank you, Mary. I appreciate you liking the stream on Facebook. I can't see if you like it on YouTube. It doesn't let me do a shout out, but a big dub for Mary. Oh, it's gone. Damn it. You wouldn't think I'm 28 years old, would you? You really wouldn't. All right, so Kenny Walker and Zach Carbonara, they're back. Can we zoom this in? Okay. Tyler Lockett, I'm not too concerned about Eskridge. JSN, Noah Fant. The offensive line's okay. It's more here. Like, that's your starting trio of receivers. The passing offense, really. Like, Will Disley can even be problematic. I'm not sure what he's done this year. I'll open his name in it. 111 yards. Yeah, he's kind of been weirdly... I don't know, he'd just blow up 1 week in DraftKings and put up like 85 yards for no reason whatsoever. But Noah Fant doesn't really get a ton of like passing options, but Colby Parkinson hasn't exactly been terrific, I would say, for Seattle this year, as far as I'm aware. If I just go on his game log now, he did get 2 targets against Seattle in both of the last times they played each other in recent weeks. He's had a reception in every game he's played except for 1, but none of them have really done anything. The only concern is he's 6'7", 250 pounds, so he's going to probably be a threat down in the red zone. Whereas, you know, Noah Fant is very much your other running back. I think what we've learned, though, is that Kenneth Walker is the lead back in Seattle, and Zach Carbonara is very much the 3-down back. I'm pretty sure I saw a stat saying he played 9 third downs last week against Seattle, which is nuts. I don't know how many converted, but there's clearly a formula there for the Eagles. Defensively, I mean, Leonard Williams, sure. Bobby Wagner coming back. He has sort of fallen off a bit, I think, since. I say that like he's not still playing at a great level. He's just not elite, which is ridiculous anyway because he's 97. Devon Witherspoon, what a player. I do have a lot of love for Devon Witherspoon. I'd love for him to be in Philadelphia. He's questionable, so there is a chance he's not playing. Did he play last week, actually, against Seattle or San Fran? He did. Okay, yeah, so he did. Okay, we only lodged 1 PD and literally no other stat. Who knows? But yeah, big Devon Witherspoon fan. That's going to be interesting considering the Eagles literally cannot get a separation this year if they tried. So whether or not we see something from Brian, my brain is really slow. Brian Johnson to scheme the Eagles receivers into play, because again, it just hasn't been happening this year. Devin Bush could get some lighter reps if Jordan Brooks can't go. Nothing. I mean, Jamal Adams, fine. The back end is good in Seattle. It's just consistency. It's just injury. And a lot of them are just getting older and falling off a bit. Like Jamal Adams, even if we go on his name here, it's just not what you'd expect to see. If you go on his stats, you go, look, man, like we're 9 games in. He's played 12 in the last 2 years in Seattle outside of 2022. He would need to average like 10, 12 tackles a game to probably get close to that. Like, he's just not playing. Like, to that kind of fall off from 83, 115, 75. He's at 48 tackles, 9 games in. Like, it's just not good. He's not the player he once was. So I'm not overly worried about Seattle's defense talent-wise. It's more scheme, I think, could be an issue. Eric's in. Cheerio, Sir Liam. Top of the evening to the chapter. I might just have to get the collar out. I know I look like an actual Brit then, won't I? I look a bit posh. It's a golf polo. It's nothing too exciting, but, you know, golf polo and a hoodie. We're vibing out here. I'm not paying $400 for an Eagles OVO hoodie, I'll tell you that much. As much as I love them and they're gorgeous, I've got an OVO Jordan hoodie. Is it in the washing machine? No. I would have got it out for you otherwise. But I've got an OVO Jordan hoodie. Love it. OVO Eagles hoodie for like $200. Nah, you're all right there. Drake doesn't even like the Eagles, does he? Really? I don't know where that partnership's come from. They've also got like Jet stuff as well. Completely irrelevant to this, but alas. I think his scheme, says Isaac, of course, talking about Pete Carroll, requires a lot of athleticism out of his corners. Oh no, sorry. See, what I've done there, ladies and gentlemen, is assume. Assuming makes an ass out of you and me. Tell that one to your friends. It's a good one to have. I think this scheme requires a lot of athleticism out of its cornerbacks, and Bradbury's fallen off a bit. We run man on 50% of third downs, and Bradbury stinks in man now. See, I like that. Isaac is the stat man. He does come up with this stuff. He, time and time again, just delivers. Call him the mailman, because he always delivers, does Isaac. But yeah, I might need to do some insights into James Bradbury, because I'm not overly sure what's caused it. Because I don't think he was never the quickest corner. I'll give him that. He was never like, you're not going to send him on a vertical man coverage on an island without any safety help. He just never was that guy. He was always very much a CB2. Even in New York, like there were times where he just funneled stuff in. It was just easier. So like, I don't know. We'll see. Do I think it's a 2019 revenge game? Yeah and no. I don't think people care. Like, within the building, I don't think people care because it's a completely different team now. And as much as guys like Fletch and BG and Lane and Kelsey would have been around, that era that's associated with 2019. I'm thinking about the right game, aren't I? Yeah, of course I am. My brain is on fire right now. But yeah. Tech difficulties, love that. Now the microphone's going to be super loud, isn't it? It's going absolutely brilliantly. Bear with me. What is going on here? I don't know. Hopefully that it's not too loud, but this is an absolute atrocity of a stream. I apologise. There we go. There it is. Right, we're back. Cool. We'll get there. But yeah, in terms of it being a revenge game in 2019, I don't think the emphasis is caring anymore. Like, especially, you've got to think, especially after the couple of weeks the Eagles have had, they don't need any added motivation. Like, you've just been blown out by the Niners. You've been blown out by the Cowboys. You've now got the Seahawks. And you know that you've got to figure things out. Because if you don't take care of business against the Giants and you don't take care of business against the Cardinals, that division's in jeopardy, and your playoff life along with it, and probably the careers of many players who would be soon traded. I don't really know. They need much more incentive to push than we've just had a 2-game lead in the NFC East, having played the Chiefs, the Bills, the Dolphins, the Cowboys, beat them all, by the way, beat all of those teams, and then let that lead slip by losing to the Cowboys on the road and the Niners in that kind of fashion. Like, I'd understand again if it was a tight game, it would be, yeah, it was an anomaly, it happens, the Niners were the better team. But realistically, like, the Eagles got absolutely outplayed from top to bottom, and that's the concern. So there we go. A quick shout to Phil, who's also liked it on Facebook. That is our 3rd like on Facebook this evening. Again, if you haven't liked it on YouTube yet and you could, that would be absolutely amazing. Let's get through some of your comments. Here's the thing, though. Seattle's almost had its defense get toasted the last 2 weeks. True. Yeah, statistically, it's not been great. But then again, they have played San Fran in one of them. So San Fran's toasting everyone. We can kind of exclude that one. The game before, sure. Yeah, but Pete ain't smart enough to know to hand the ball to Beast Mode for 1 yard to secure a 2nd Super Bowl. Yeah, I'll never live that one down. And even now, their running backs, you know, look, I was a big Kenneth Walker guy. I would have loved him in Philly. I was even a big Zach Carbonara guy. I'd have loved him in Philly. But it's just one of them, isn't it? Where I don't think the Seattle offense again, if we to go back to our graphic, just isn't there. It's been a really, really shoddy rushing performance here from Seattle this season, 28th in the NFL. And when you've got a quarterback that is either banged up in Geno Smith or a quarterback who is probably playing worse than a banged up Geno Smith in Drew Lock, you need that run game. And the Eagles are very good at stopping the run. The only teams they've struggled against, really, the last 2 weeks. And look at what the other teams are doing. It was a lot of motion. It was a lot of guys like Rico Dowdle just causing havoc for no reason. And it's guys like Christian McCaffrey and Deebo Samuel just completely confusing the linebackers. I don't know if the Seahawks have that in their locker, and that's no disrespect to them. I would just be stunned if the Seahawks come out motion everywhere, left, right, left, right. There's guys moving around the line of scrimmage. You've got, pony backfields and stuff. I just can't see that being a likely scenario. I could be wrong. And if it is, the Eagles need to prepare for that in the coming weeks, because with the Giants having Saquon and the Cardinals having someone, presumably, that they are going to start trying to push. There'll be an upset there. I mean, the Cardinals of all teams, Jonathan Gannon, is going to want revenge on Philly. It was very much a joke earlier in the season that, the Eagles would absolutely rip through the Cardinals. Gannon's jumped ship. It is a horrible team in Arizona. It's funny. It's great vibes. You can't ask for much better. Then the Eagles wobble. And the Cardinals get Kyler, and they start making some progress. And you're like, okay, it might be a somewhat competitive game. I just can't imagine much more worse than that. Like, of all things, I'll be more annoyed if they lose to Arizona than if they lose to Seattle, Dallas, San Fran. Like, of all the teams in the league, just beat Arizona. I don't care how bad they are, how good they are. Just beat Jonathan Gannon and his Michael Scott looking face. Just get it into the dirt. Get them beat. Drop 50 on them. If it is the last thing you do this season, if it is the final week and it doesn't matter, Hurts plays all game. I'd rather not have a playoff run and demolish it. I'm being sarcastic, but you know what I mean. TMC's in, says we'll beat the Cowboys for you guys. Now, for those that don't know TMC, he is our resident Buffalo fan. Along comes a hero. And then a hero comes along. Says K1. K1's in as well. Love that. He was beating Seattle. I better have a chance. I have a better chance me dating Sporty Spice. Which one is Sporty Spice? That's Victoria Beckham, isn't it? I don't know what ones the Spice Girls are. That is Victoria Beckham, isn't it? She wasn't my favourite, I can't lie. Let's share screens for a Spice Girls picture, which is totally irrelevant to anything, but we might get some mild satisfaction out, and not in a weird way. All right, I couldn't name them. I don't know which Spice Girls are which. There they are. We're on eBay now. Looking at a £60 Spice Girls Christmas in Spice. What is this? There's Victoria. There's Sporty. One of them is called Mel. I think. Well, I don't know which one Mel is. I'm guessing the one in the middle. She just looks really awkward. She just looks sort of like T-Rex leaning over with a long neck, like a giraffe. There was Sporty Spice, Posh Spice. Which one's Posh Spice? There's another picture here. Maybe that'll help. All right, Neo, calm down. Yeah, I don't know. We are very much... She's got a tattoo as well. It's not very posh, so she can't be posh. I think that's Melanie. Is it? I don't know. Very weird jeans as well. Oh, she just turned them up. They're just too big for her. Okay, fair enough. Anyway, back onto discussion now. Let's get that off before someone comes on and wonders what on earth we're looking at. Yeah, I know. Sure. Where are we to? I'm trying to read through the comments. If Liam wasn't such a lazy sod, he'd get the mic stand out of his closet. I like holding it. There's something purposeful about holding it. I was the same when I did broadcasting. As much as having a mic stand is practical, it's in my dining room table where my computer is, and I'm at my computer all day. So having a mic stand here, like, I don't know, or I eat dinner here, it's a bit weird. And then, I like holding it. It's a bit more, in the same way it's better, in my mind, to write things down rather than to tap them or type them, because there's more of a connection to what you're writing, if that makes sense. Like, when writing a birthday card always feels nice, isn't it? Or a Christmas card. Unless you're writing to dickhead, it's always a nice thing to do. So it just feels, I don't know, you hold the microphone and it's quite look in my eyes. It's quite cool. I like it. I, like you, see us incorporating some of the run packages we ran through miles last year with Swift. Maybe. Maybe. I wouldn't mind. I mean, they need something. Like, I mean, in fairness, I went back and there was a Fran Duffy film room from the win over Kansas City. Oddly enough, one of the main focal points of that film room was that the Eagles ran a pony backfield formation on 3 different plays in the game with Swift and Boston Scott. And on both plays, Swift goes left, Boston goes right, and they give the ball to Boston Scott. And on the third time, like, you know, the 3 bears and the Little Red Riding Hood story, whatever it is, I don't bloody know. They give the ball to DeAndre Swift, and everyone's bitten that way for Boston Scott. That set up the 35-yard run, which was then capped off by the touchdown that went on to be quite iconic with Jalen Hurts running into the end zone to put the cherry on the cake. So it's there. And I think that, beyond anything else, is what the most frustrating thing is that you see it all. You see all the ingredients. Like, there are slant plays with A.J. Brown. There are plays where Dallas Goedert is in a wide open spot in the middle of the field because he's found a soft spot in the defense and Hurts has been able to move the safety. And then you get things like a QB draw on 3rd and 8. And you get run on 1st down, pass on 2nd down, run on 3rd down, punt. And none of it really makes sense. So I'm hoping, look, if they've got Jalen Hurts doing the Macarena in practice and doing these weird drills and all the rest of it, something tells me that there would be an element of accountability for the coaches as well. Of Nick going, look, Brian, this ain't good enough. Like, we need more here. This is how we're going to scheme up to beat Seattle. This is how we're going to capitalize on, like, their strong back end. And this is how we're going to, you know, maybe it runs through the run game. It wouldn't surprise me. Like, why not? Why not give the running backs a chance when all you've tried to do for the past month or so now is force the ball to A.J. Brown. And if you go on A.J. Brown's stats, I will end up sharing the screen again. This is where, of course, having a microphone would be beneficial. But beggars cannot be choosers, as they say. Nope, that's the Spice Girls. We want that one. Maybe we want the Spice Girls as well. So we go on A.J. Brown's game logs for 2023. And have a little scroll down to here. Like, he's being targeted more than most games, outside of one game against the Dolphins where it was near the end of the streak. The streak was hot. They're forcing in the ball because he was obviously very good. Since then, I mean, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, the 2 of his last 5 have been among the most targets he's received, along with reception-wise, 1, 2, 3, 2 of the most 5 like receptions. I know that wasn't. I can barely talk this evening. I'm very sleepy. You have to forgive me for this. But 2 of the 5 games he's had the most receptions have been in the last 2 weeks. You know what I'm trying to say? Can't be asked now. But like, the ball is very much being forced his way. If we go to the Eagles' target share, which is, I think, a very valuable thing to look at because you can see just how much this is being force-fed. Like, look at this. Look. 4, 9, 13, 13, 8, 8, 11, 10. Goddard's had 4, obviously, since coming back, but there is no one else. And I understand there was some criticism. I understand there were some people being concerned with the fact that the Eagles' offense was running through 3 people. It was running through AJ, Devontae, and Goddard. One counter to that is obviously, well, yeah, why wouldn't it? Have you seen the Eagles' offense? Like, why? What would you rather do? Run the offense through Olamide Zacchaeus, would you, Jonathan? Would you rather run the offense through Julio Jones, would you, Stephen? Would you rather have Albert Okwuegbunam having touchdowns, would you? Oh, that's fine. Yeah, we'll leave AJ on the bench. Don't worry about it. We'll get those guys targets. I understand spreading the ball around. Sure. I understand the running backs could also play a factor in the passing game. Sure. But realistically, AJ Brown is a top 5 receiver. Devontae Smith's a top 10. And Goddard's one of the best tight ends in football on his day. I don't think it matters that much. It's concerning when the players are taken away, like they were this past weekend, like when AJ Brown's covered, when Smitty's accounted for, that you can't come off those reads and there is no check down available. And I don't think that's necessarily on Jalen Hurts, but it is so on Sirianni, Brian Johnson, whoever, to get that dialed in, to have a running back in the flat, to have a tight end in the flat, to have a HB angle, like whatever the route is, the offense should run through those 3. Would you go to Golden State, who've struggled this year, and be like, yeah, there's too much emphasis on Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, and Draymond Green. There's too much. Who else do you want? Who are you going to throw it to? I can't even name you another Warriors player. What's the point? It's like going in Philadelphia and be like, yeah, the offense is moving too much through Embiid and Tyrese Maxey. Okay, we'll have an inconsistent Tobias Harris and we'll have DeAnthony Melton. Shall we? That's better, isn't it, everyone? We'll have DeAnthony Melton. Great. That'll shiver me timbers, everyone watching. You know? Like, the offense should go through its most productive players. Why wouldn't it? But there has to be a variety in the ways they're being targeted, which I don't think there is. And this is where we go to the NFL Next Gen Stats page. This might take some doing. I didn't have this prepared. But hey, that's the beauty of tangents, right? And then we can look at some more Spice Girls. Shoot me to the left. Are you having a good time? Shoot me to the right. Are you having a good time? Come on. Hurry up, please. Oh, this isn't what I wanted. Charts. Here we go. Right. Search. Cool. All right. So if you look at, you can't really see these very, very well. I'm going to have to zoom in a lot. But what I'm going to do is go to 2022, right, and just look. This is, it literally won't let you do it. That's really annoying. Okay, so this is, can we go to 2022 here? Maybe we can, maybe we can't. We're back to 2023. Anyway, look, all the passes down the line of scrimmage here. It's not bad. That's better. More of that. Look, funnily enough, that was a week 3 game where he had 37 pass attempts and 2 picks, but that's the better spread of the ball. That's what you want. That's great. Week 5, week 6, he's getting a bit deeper now. You can see he's airing it out. There's a lot more on that left side of the field going deeper. He starts to try and build it. You can almost see a whole run there, that whole right-hand side. That run of A.J. Brown's games, you can see. Like, it is literally in a chart. You don't even need to know who's caught the balls. You can very much see who's catching what there. And I suppose that's what it means when, the offense is becoming predictable. It's balls around here, nothing matters, and then, a ton of deep stuff. But look at when you go from something like this and something like week 5 and week 4 here, where the offense, I think, probably peaked around this sort of time. He started coming into his own and getting better number-wise here. And that was the MVP kind of runlet. The touchdown start airing deeper. But you can just see that it goes on. Look at how tight everything is. I'm hoping you can see this, by the way. I'll double check you can first, otherwise we could be in an issue. But look at how many green circles are completions. Look at how many are within 10 yards. Look at how many are within 10 yards. You go up one. There's a few more, but there's 3 picks there. And it feels after that game, there's less. And there's more deep. And there's more deep. And there's way less. And then there's nothing. That's okay, I suppose. That one's not too. What that is, I have no idea. That was week 11. Week 12, there's just no rhythm. Look, there's no rhyme or reason. That one's okay. That was week 14. It's the most recent one, funnily enough. But in terms of just dispersion is what I'm talking about. Like, that one isn't bad. I think week 13. But you can just see, it's just, there's no consistency outside of everything started to get very, very deep. Everything's either line of scrimmage or 20 yards down the field. 40. How many balls are incomplete down the field? We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 there, right? So out of 45 passes in this week 6 game, which I may be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that was against the Jets, wasn't it? Right? Out of 45 passes, 28 were complete. 7 of them that were incomplete were 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 7 were over 15 yards. So 9, 30, 1, 2, 3, 4. That'd be 35 or 45. It'll be a very different game, I would assume. If those passes just are a bit shorter. It just feels like 1, 2. I mean, you got a touchdown there, sure. It just feels odd. I don't know. Look at this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 incompletions. All of them 15 yards plus. Right? Missing that many, I don't know what he's doing there, but missing 3 near the line of scrimmage in week 13 is atrocious. But that's what... Oh, you can't see. Oh, wow. Are you actually serious? Oh, for God's sake. No one told me. Right, we're going back down again. Right. I can't believe you'll stomach that. That is incredible. I just sat there. I feel like I'm watching a psychotic episode in pro. I was just making it up. I thought I added it. I thought I added it to the stage. I'm really sorry. So I've just sat there for 5 minutes talking about passing charts and annotating them that you can't see. That is remarkable. What a wanker. This is why you watch the stream. Right, okay, now let's talk shop. Let's go back to the bottom. So these are Jalen Hurts passing charts from week 2, because for some reason week 1 won't load, right? Week 2 on your left, week 3 on your right. No other way around. I can't even do that anymore. But just look at the dispersion, okay? Everything's very subtle. It's very succinct. I know you're going to miss passes like deeper than 20 yards anyway, but it's more, you'll see what I'm saying, right? So there's a lot around the line of scrimmage. There's a lot there. It was a pretty shoddy offense in week 2. We can't lie. It wasn't very imaginative. It was quite game managey. I think there was a lot of arguments made early on. And it feels like out of nowhere, it just switched. So this one in week 3, okay, a lot of thrown behind the line of scrimmage there. There's a little pocket there. And then you've got miss, interception, miss there. So that's 4 or 5 misses. That's not too bad. This is about as good as it gets. I think this is the best passing chart we've got. And funnily enough, it's the one where I had 2 touchdowns, no picks, 319 yards. But look at where the ball's going, right? Even there, 1, 2, 3, 4 misses, 5, 6 over 10, right? 1 miss under 10, 2 misses under 10 yards. That's fine. That's great. Over here, meanwhile, 1, 2, pick, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 misses there with 1, 2, 3, 4 of them under 12 yards. It's not on, right? Pick at the line of scrimmage. 1, 2, 3. In this one, week 7, he missed more passes under 10 yards than he did longer. That's just spamming to the sideline. That's horrific. Look at that. That's the worst one. Like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's bad. This one's good. I like that. Again, that's up there with the best. But it's just dynamic, look. Every area of the field. Top left, top right. Middle is being targeted enough. But where's the middle of the field here? This is week 9 now. What are we seeing in the middle of the field? Nothing. Can you see this, by the way? Can you actually see what we're watching? Those are the green dots you were seeing. Yeah, I wasn't having some sort of breakdown. I can't believe you were still watching that. That is wild. But there's nothing in the middle of the field, right? Nothing in the middle of the field. Nothing in the middle of the field. A little bit there and a little bit there. But even then, you're missing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 passes in 2 weeks under 10 yards. Which feels like a lot. And look, that's what I'm talking about with the forcing of the football up here. 1, 2, 3 passes over 30 yards you're trying there in week 14. Why? Why? Why is that happening? It's just weird. There's no rhyme or reason to it. But alas. There we go. Well, you've seen those now. But it's nice to look at, I suppose, anyway, for reference. After understanding that you couldn't see, that I was just spatting shit for 5 minutes and no one had a bloody clue. Aquabonum. Is it Aquabonum? I say we just look at the Spice Girls again. There we go. There are the Spice Girls on eBay. Hey, look at that. You can buy it. 5 grand? 5 grand, that is. That's gone. Oh, we're sharing that. Bear with me. 5 grand for a Spice World 98 tall cab, is it? Is it a cab? Oh, it's just a one-off. Yeah, it's a tall trunk. Anything in it? No. Literally a wooden box that's signed for 5 grand. Lots of love, Emma. That's just one of them. No one else has signed it. 5 grand. Yeah, you can make some silly money on eBay. Anyway, back to Eagles-related content. We've got around 15 minutes to go. It is quite sporadic. Yeah, but I think that, again, is just... I don't know. I know Hurts hasn't exactly been his best this season. I know he has left a lot of meat on the bone. I don't know if he is fully responsible for all of them. You know, like there must be a reason he threw AJ Brown deep right like 4 plays, like 30-yard passes. Like that's not just a coincidence of there were 4 play calls. It just happened to be a go route for AJ Brown. There's something going on there. I just don't really understand why the Eagles are struggling. But I don't know how we got onto this, to be honest with you. We're here. It was just interesting to look at Jalen Hurts' passing charts on the year and see if we could know or spot any patterns that, I guess, come back to what we were saying earlier. I suppose missing so many passes short come back to the fact that he's blitzed so much because he's spending too long in the pocket. And if you're spending I'm going to count how many passes he's missed of 20+ yards really quickly. I'll tell you, I'll even share the screen for it. I'll even share the screen. I genuinely tried to, Tom. I tried to compare it with last year's, but it doesn't give you the season option. It just comes up blank when you choose it. But let's go. Right, ready? So over 20 yards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, and a pick, 22, 23, 4, 5, 6, 7. Is he hitting any of these? Is he hitting any of them? So since week 2, he has missed 27 passes of 20 yards or more. Because he is having, again, to wait inside the pocket for those plays to develop. He's getting blitzed. He's having to just launch the ball out. And it just doesn't work out. I don't have the graphics anymore. I've deleted them. But from Wednesday's episode where we eviscerated Brian Johnson, you can't miss 27 deep shots. I mean, let's count completions by comparison. I'll share the screen again. Let's come back, right? So it's 27 misses, right? This is Liam Analytics, right? How many has he made? 2. It's not looking good. 3, 4. Oh, dear. 5. 6. Sorry, I missed a touchdown. 6. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. So he's 19 and 27. That's mad. What was that as a percentage? Someone tell me. But that would be the total winners. So he's had 19. He's missed 27 of... What's the total? Oh, I'm not good at maths. I can't work that out today. But you understand what I'm saying there, right? Like, you can't be 19 of 22. That's over... It's just over... I'll ask Siri. What is 19 of 27 as a percentage? 2,700% apparently. Well, that's not right, is it? That's not true. So someone work. I'll do it in a minute. I'll do it now. 19 of 27 percentage. I'm guessing 62. 70 apparently. Maybe I'll take it back. But it's not 19. No, it's 19 and 27 misses, isn't it? So it's not that. That's it's not that. No, there is something I'm missing here. That's no. Is it? But has he? Or have I misreading that? If he has, I'll take it back. I think we've accidentally stumbled on something quite good there. Yeah, take the shots, Jalen. I'll take it back. Keep firing, Sunshine. You keep going. But if you've missed 27 and you've hit 29, the total would be 39, 45, 6. So he's at 19 and 46, right? Yeah, because he would have only hit 90. No, I know. I don't know how percentages work. Let's leave it because tonight's not the night. I'm a tired young man, all right? I'm not the young bull I used to be, and math ain't my strong point. But if someone can take, it's like, high school maths, called a quarterback called Jalen through however many passes. How many? It's 41%. No, thank you, Tom. Tom is our MVP for the day. 41% on passes over 20 yards. Not 70. If it was 70, we'd tell him to keep firing. But 41%. And somehow he's being consistently told to just say fuck it and chuck it over and over again. K1 might have just had William, what on earth are you doing? Not mathing. True story, I had to resit my mathematics exam at college. So your college is different to ours. We have like secondary school and then college where that's like your university where you kind of go away and study. Then our university is when you're like 19, 20. But I had to qualify for college, you needed like a grade in math and a grade in English. And I failed math at the very basic level. There were 2 levels. There was the clever math and there was the dumb math. And I was literally in a class with the kids that would like lob books at you. And, well, that was every class. But, the kids that would just lob stuff around, like the tyrants didn't really care. And I sucked and I had to retake it. And then I failed that again. I had to retake the same exam 4 times in 4 years for math. So it's not my strong point. Playing golf wasn't a good idea. That's not great. 1927 is good. 1946 is more expected. Normal's around There we go. See, teamwork makes the dream work. And this is why PSN isn't about me, not Hermione, and it's about everyone else. And it's about the team because they're all very good. And I can't do maths, as we've now learned. 19 of 46. Rakeem Robinson, your first message in the chat is a very good one. It has saved me a lot of stress. Thank you for hanging out, my friend. I hope you have a lovely evening. I saw you try to explain the percentage. I can tell you didn't. Oh, what do you? I gave that a go. I knew what I meant in that. And then again, someone else came in and was like, no, what he means is this. And it's very obvious. And they went, oh, yeah. And I'm there going, no, did he get the percentage and divide it by 12 and times it by 3? I don't know what I'm doing. And yes, Eric, I was one of them. I wasn't, but I did used to smell books. Do you like the smell of a new book? That's one of the most underrated smells there is. Anyway, before that gets taken massively out of context, let's move into some predictions then for the Eagles versus Seahawks. Obviously, we will be live on Monday evening. So the game starts, 8 p.m., isn't it? So we'll be live at 6 as normal for a pre-game show for an hour. And we'll have a post-game show as well. So there will be post-game Eagles reaction because the last one did like stupid numbers. So it'd be stupid not to do it again, right? You know what I mean? So yeah, we'll be doing a post-game stream. I think Brian Cameron and a couple of the other guys will be hosting it. I will be passed out by that point, but I'll try and make it regardless. Let's get some predictions in. All right, Eagles need a big win. We've got to rally it here. There's a final few furlongs to go. Let's see if we can get this horse to the finish line as a winner. 28. There's been a lot of 28. I'm pretty sure Little G Griffith had 28-17, wasn't it, or something? Seahawks and Eagles have similar defensive issues, but the Eagles have a better offense, 30-20 Eagles. See, that's where I'm at with it, Tom. It's like, realistically, I feel like it's switched it. I feel like the Seahawks defense is the Eagles offense, if that makes sense. And that they've got a lot of star power in guys like Witherspoon, guys like Jamal Adams, guys like Bobby Wagner, and they're just shit. It's just a bad defense, and there's no real reason for it. Outside like a couple of questionable injuries here and there, but nothing like season derailing. And then offensively, it's the unit that doesn't have as much talent, and they have had injuries, and they're doing okay, and they're doing all right. Along with Decaf Metcalf. Did we ever get another nickname for that man other than Decaf? I know we had like Mega Calf for a bit. So if anyone wants to, that's the new bar, Mega Calf. But I'm not having Decaf Metcalf. That is I'm not making this up, by the way. I want to make a point. I didn't know this was his nickname. I've just searched Decaf and it's come up Decolb Addiction Clinic. I don't know what that means. I don't know what Decolb is, but I don't want that. And I'd like Bing not to send my search history to people if possible. So let's share screen here for Decaf Metcalf. Look, which of these do you prefer? 24% said Decaf Metcalf. It doesn't make sense. I'll go through it one more time for those that missed it earlier. The whole point of a receiver is to be explosive, right? Is to put energy into the offense, to make big time plays, traditionally associated with explosive energy, right? Decaf, by name and by nature, decaffeinated, takes the caffeine out of a drink. So Decaf Metcalf makes no sense, and it also doesn't rhyme. Decaf Metcalf, DK Metcalf, Decaf Metcalf. Can we not find anything else? It doesn't rhyme, it doesn't work. Megaquan's all right. The Freak, that's just rude. Can't call him a freak. Oh, there he is over there, the Freak. Unbelievable. I'm joking. Obviously understand the logic of the Freak, but come on. So, do we have that with Devontae Smith? Does he have nicknames on Bing? I'm not sure he's going to put that on his resume. He's not really going to look at this stream and be like, oh, wow. Hey, Mum, I have a nickname on Bing. No, he doesn't. Great. Well, that's bias, and I'm not standing for it. So, there you go. So I'd personally love for this to be a blowout, but with the Eagles number, it will be close to 27-20. I don't think we pull away until the fourth, and I think we come out looking stale until we turn it on. Let's get it on. I haven't given my prediction. I think Isaac's probably onto something. I think offensively, they need to get themselves kicked in the teeth. Like, the offense will be terrible for like 3 drives, and then the defense will give up 2 touchdowns, and then they'll come alive and win like 28-21 or something like that. Like, I can't see it being... It'll be closer than people think. I'll go that far. I think it will be a closer matchup than a lot of people are predicting. I believe that DK Metcalf's going to be a factor. Noah Fant is the guy that scares me, and I don't know why. He hasn't done much of anything this season outside of a few hundred yards, but knowing that Jake Ferguson has ripped the Eagles into shreds, we saw George Kittle do the same. The Eagles have given up over 600 yards to tight ends this season. It's among the higher echelons in the league. Some of the bottoms are around like 400. I can see Noah Fant doing damage, and the Eagles, I don't think, are going to be aware enough to stop it. Like, again, Sean Desai seems to have this magical defense where he adapts in the second half, where he adapts to what the opposing team has given him. For some reason, though, he rolls out the same stock defense in the first half, like every game. It doesn't really matter who they're playing or what the deal is. They'll just roll out the stock defense, and however they're being beaten, they'll then adapt. But surely, again, the whole point of a defensive coordinator is to prepare and to watch tape. So you go, that guy's good. Let's press on him. I'm obviously being facetious. I know he does that. It'll be fine, I'm sure. Of course, you have a fear of Fant. What's wrong with the fear of Fant? Fant's a very fearful fan. I'm not a Noah Fant fan. There's a tongue twister. I'm not a Noah. I don't fear Noah Fant, but I'm not a fan of Noah Fant. Fan. I think stupid stat the Eagles haven't scored a touchdown in 4 quarters is going to appear when we make our Now, I can see there'll be a first quarter score. I think the Eagles will shoot themselves in the foot at some point, but they have to. I think they have to win this game. Like, I don't think Dallas was a must win. I don't think San Fran was a must win. I do think that knowing it's different going into games against bum teams like the Giants and the Cardinals who combine for like -3 wins on the year, knowing that you've competed against San Fran, you've competed against Dallas, and you held your own against Seattle. If they lose to Seattle in the same fashion they have San Fran and Dallas, all that's going to happen is that there'll be blood in the water for the Giants to sniff. There'll be blood in the water for the Cardinals. This is going to be an imperative game for this Eagles team. They have to come out swinging. They've got to find a way to score early. They haven't beaten the Seahawks in 15 years. Okay, I would love for that trend to come to an end this weekend. To do that, they've got to fix up offensively and stop the stupid flags and turnovers. And defensively, just make one stop every now and again. And maybe don't allow a quarterback like Geno Smith in his one arm to throw for like 400 yards. If you could, that would be fantastic. That would be fantastic. Get it? It'll be 4 quarters of Fantasia. Bloody mind, innit? Good minds think alike. Prediction, Greg's in. Excuse me. Let's try this again. Run the ball. Seahawks are a bottom 5D. Rashad Penny touchdown alert. I like that. Tom P has just said, can we get some Penny revenge this week? How about a penny for your thoughts? How about a Rashad Penny touchdown against his former team, the Seattle Seahawks? Eagles are a petty franchise sometimes. They love rubbing salt in the wound. I'd love nothing more than Rashad Penny to dazzle his quite chunky thighs, not in a mean way, through that Seattle defense and to score against the team he once rushed for quite prominently. I wouldn't mind that whatsoever. But back to Greg's prediction. Jalen gets 2, 23-30 Eagles. I'm 9-2 on predictions now. That is a hell of a run. That is one hell of a run. And I hope that continues and you can get to double digits. I think every game we have now is a must-win no matter what, unless the Mad Chatters team comes in. Yeah, if the Cowboys lose and the Eagles lose, it somewhat takes the sting out. The Cowboys are in must-win territory regardless. Like, they have to win out. As much as it's great they've tied the Eagles, they face tough teams. Again, we know they've got the Bills. They've got the Dolphins coming up. They've got the Lions after that. The Cowboys, for all of the noise and all of the hype, are in a situation where they have to win. They absolutely need to win because the Eagles have the lighter schedule against Jonathan Gannon. Q Gannon. What a waste of time that was. What bozo came up with that. And then obviously the Giants twice. So you couldn't ask for a better run-in if you're Philadelphia. Like, you physically would struggle to find teams you'd want to face more than the Giants and the Cardinals. It's just a fact, okay? No one in the NFL imposes a sense of confidence for the other team like the Giants and the Cardinals right now. That's just true. So the Eagles know that. The Cowboys need a win. They need to beat the Bills and to give themselves any chance of winning the division. And that's what I think worries me. the Eagles can't go limping into those games because then they've had a history of playing down to their opponents. And while it hasn't happened as much this year, the Jets game happened. It's there. And you can't go into those games off a 3-game losing streak, having relinquished a 2-game lead in the NFC East, so then giving it up. They need a win. And I would love to see them beat the Seahawks. I think they will 28-21. I still think the 1 seed's in play for us too. We have the easiest schedule of the Niners and Cowboys. I can see us winning out and the Niners dropping ones to the Ravens or Cards. Well, if they lose to the Cards, I mean, the Eagles might have a shot of doing so. The Ravens potentially could absolutely be a team that dethrones them there. The 1 seed should still be in play. If it's not, it'll be tough going into San Fran. It will be tough going into that road environment, knowing what happened last year, knowing what happened just a few weeks ago. The Eagles need to be playing for the 1 seed. They can't just go, yeah, let's get the division and relax. Like, they need to be pedal to the metal, push as hard as they can, prove people wrong. The Jalen Hurts fumble exercise, the Darius Slay Twitter thing, like all of this noise from the past week ends. And what I will say very quickly, right, before we end it, because it made me laugh. I don't know the guy's name, and I don't want to give him the satisfaction, but there was a tweet that was reshared by MLF Football, for anyone that knows that account. It's just a random aggregator of news and made-up stories. But basically saying that the Jalen Hurts drill, that the infamous clip of him going to the ground, was being done because the coaching staff don't trust him. And that's very obvious, and they've heard it from players. And if he was Jalen, he'd be demanding a trade, which is hilarious when you remember that Jalen Hurts has a self-imposed non-trade clause in his contract. And nothing quite says a lack of belief in your quarterback like paying him $255 million and at the time making him the highest paid quarterback of all time. Unbelievable. Like, just put an end to that noise, beat the Seahawks, call it a day, go into those games against the Giants and the Cardinals, put the cherry on the cake, eat the cake. It's a great cake. Let's enjoy the playoffs. That's the end of the season. If in a dream world, anything can happen in the playoffs, my math challenge friend. That's a polite way of saying autistic, I think, but I will take it nonetheless because you're not too far off. Not like we're tits up if we don't have home field through the playoffs. True. Yeah, I mean, it would help to have home field through the playoffs. It definitely makes a difference. Like, Philadelphia is just one of the tougher places to play. If you look at recent history, I don't think what is the Eagles' home record this year? I swear they're like 7-2 or something at home. Carton, that's it. Yeah, Eric Cartman. Yeah, he's a Giants, Jets, Eagles hating fanboy with an FS1 show. Get him gone. Get Eric Cartman out of here. We'll put it this way. He just made himself a TikTok with my rant, and he's going to be eviscerated by a British man with a high-pitched voice. It doesn't get much lower than that. Yeah, that's when you know you're falling off. You haven't made it. You're falling off. Something tells me, look, Liam always wants cake. All right, Liam loves scranning cake. There's nothing better in the world than eating cake. And we all know what we're talking about, and we can all agree it's the best cake. Talking about Cherry Bakewells. Gosh. Shane Steichen was key, and now Sirianni's true colours are showing, and the offense might not recover. Still, we're in week 14. I don't know. I mean, Steichen, you can see a lot of his influence left. Like, a lot of the motion stuff, I think, was 100% through him. But it was the same, was it not, when we don't have the exact same conversation when Frank Reich left and it was Doug Peterson? Did that exact thing not happen then? And it just gets bullied. The offense sucks. It was all Frank Reich. Frank Reich's a demigod. All hail Frankie Panky. And then Frank Reich becomes like the first NFL coach ever to get fired like 3 times in 3 years or whatever stupid record it was. Or like the fastest, whatever it was, he broke a record for being like the fastest fired coach. So it's not all sunshine and rainbows, I would say. Like, it's just one of those things, isn't it, where a coach can be great and they leave and some of that influence goes and you're trying to make up. Look, if you break up with someone, obviously certain attributes of yourself, certain areas get heightened with that person. So you might then go to your group of friends who you may not have spoken to in a while. Maybe not quite putting on the baby voice. That might be a bit too far. But do you know what I mean? There might be a softer side. There might be a new interest. Oh, have you guys seen Love Island this weekend? Have you guys heard that new T-Swizzle song? And they're like, what are you talking about? Like, it will happen. It happens. And you need to just dial it back and go back to your core fundamentals. I think what worries me more is Sirianni's history with wide receivers during his time with the Chargers. during his time before that. Like, he has worked with some of the best names in the business. I believe Christian Kirk as well, if I'm not mistaken. Like, he just has been. He's been really, really good at developing wideouts. And while they have been developed, you're also doing a fantastic job at getting none of them open. So, I don't know. I think it's multi-layered. I don't want to put it all on... I do want to put it all on Brian Johnson. That's a lie. But I don't think it's as much on Shane Steichen leaving as much as it is how they're filling that void, if that makes sense. Why is Jalen Hurts all of a sudden taking chances downfield instead of the open read? Well, funny you should say that, Travis, because we just discovered by a community effort, because I can't do maths, that Jalen Hurts is completing 41% of his passes that are 20 yards or more down the field. So there you go. And according to Tom, the NFL average is 55%. So there you go. Look at that. You can tell that to your friends tomorrow. That's for free. You can have that for free, that one. The saying for the weekend, guys, that we're on a Friday night, okay? We're going in. We're going to have a little boogie, have a little beer, right? Your saying for the weekend, we'll start with an easy one. Assuming makes an ass out of you and me. I'll leave you with that one. That one's for free. Gents, ladies, gentlebirds, however you may identify yourselves, thank you so much for hanging out with me this evening. I've loved talking Eagles with you. And, of course, bringing in an analogy and a relationship story as well. It's got to be done. It's got to be done. But I hope you all have a fantastic weekend. I will see you on Monday for a pre-game. I won't be drinking. I might be drinking. Pre-game special, Eagles vs. Seahawks, right here on the Philly Sports Network YouTube channel. So I will see all 16 of you, right? 6 p.m. Eastern, Monday. Be there or be square. Your choice. Don't be a square. All right? We want circles. Smooth. Yeah? But good luck, guys. I said good luck because I read Travis's message, yeah? Have an amazing weekend. I hope you all... good luck in your fantasy matchups. If you're in the playoffs, I salute you. Have a great weekend. Enjoy your football. Whatever it is you may be doing, whether you're socialising or Christmas shopping, wrapping presents, whatever it is. Enjoy yourselves. Thank you so much for the support, as always. And really quickly before you go, because there's 14, if you don't go. Recently, just today, we've started our traditional Philly Sports Network award show voting, which you can vote for right here. So every year we get our favorite PSN writers, which is literally all of them, get them onto a live stream, all suited up, all in a dress, and we give out awards that you vote for. So if you want to vote for them, you can do using this link, which I've just tagged in here. It's completely free, no catch like that, but you just fill out a quick Google form on the page of your favorite writer, favorite Eagles writer, favorite YouTube show. It better be this one. All sorts of stuff like that. So, yeah, if you want to be part of that and help vote for your favorite PSN personalities, we will be doing a live award show probably like 28th-ish of December. There'll be more details on that soon. We'll see you for that. In the meantime, Zach Shalvalella Carbonara, Seahawks running back and PSN MVP, will very much be on the post-game show, I believe. I'll see you Monday, guys. Thank you so much for hanging out. See you later. I can't say goodbye, all right? I struggle to say goodbye. Strike me down. It's not my fault. I'm doing my best, all right? Don't send me back to therapy, Eric. I've just left it. You're a star. Gents, have a great weekend. For the 19th time, I'll see you later.